Hey everybody, it's Julia from the Lawn Care Business Success Podcast. I'm here today to show you guys how you can easily design and make your own custom carbonless two-part invoice books for your lawn care business. As easy as just creating a PDF document and sending it off to a service like printitforless.com. Now these are the custom carbonless invoice books that I designed for my lawn care business. And as you can see, they come in booklets of 50 and they look a lot more professional and sort of tie in the whole company brand with a truck and trailer and the uniforms as well as the website. They just help tie everything together by using the custom invoice books here, and you can customize them to use or to have I should say, all the information that you want specifically in your invoices, rather than using just generic ones you get at the office supply store that may have a bunch of different fields that don't pertain to your business. You can use or design these exactly how you want them to look. And as you can see here with mine actually triple as either a quote book, a receipt book, or an invoice simply by check marking what I'm particularly using that particular invoice for at the moment. I've got a section here at the top to fill in with the date and when the quote is valid through, the customer information, email, their cell phone numbers, and then a section here for the description line by line with the prices of each service, if it's multiple services, the taxes, and the total there at the bottom. And as you can see, when you're pulling up to a job and you've got your truck and trailer, you got all the signage done, you're in your uniforms, the customer may have called you based on seeing your website, and now you're showing up and quoting the job with custom forms instead of using just the generic run-of-the-mill stuff. It just really helps tie together your whole brand and whole image. So the rest of this video, I'm just going to walk you through a tutorial on the computer on how you can easily use free software or software that's already built into your computer to design a custom form like this and convert it into a PDF document to send off to a service like Print It for Less. So let's get started. The first thing you want to do to be able to order some custom carbonless two-part forms for your lawn care business is to create a PDF file of basically what you want your form to look at. So some of the things you'll need to know beforehand is the sizes of the forms, and for that you can go to Safari and go to printitforless.com and go into their custom forms. So you can find that here. They have a bunch of different forms that you can look at. There's pre-made ones if you just want sort of the generic looking forms, but for this tutorial we're doing custom forms. So your custom forms, you can get them one color or full color forms. I did the one color, so click onto that. And then you look at your sizes, and here's some sizes here: 8.5 by 5.5, which is basically a half sheet of paper sideways. So that would be like having two forms on a standard piece of paper side by side. If you were to take a piece of printer paper and cut it in half, lengthwise there, you'd have two forms. So basically that's the size there. So we know now that we want an 8.5 by 5.5 size. So the next step here is to create your PDF file. So what you're going to need to do is go and use some software. Now, if you have a Mac, you can use Pages, which comes pre-installed on your Mac to do this. But for this tutorial, I'm going to be using OpenOffice because it's free software that anybody can download, and it works for Windows or Mac. So just to cover bases of whatever system you're using, we'll do this in OpenOffice. So basically, you go to OpenOffice, you open it up, and what you want to do is go to Drawing. You click on that, and so you're going to be creating a drawing page. So the first step here, once this is open, is you want to go up to Format and go to Page Format. And now we remember our size here, so we want to change the width to 5.5 and change the height to 8.5, and then just click OK. And there we go. Now we have a page that is basically 5.5 inches wide by 8.5 inches tall. So basically, you want to use a drawing program so that you can insert things like lines and that sort of thing. As you can see here from the tools above here, so they have a whole bunch of different things you can add to your document, like rulers and backgrounds and bullets and that sort of thing. So the basically in a drawing program, what you want to do is basically just draw your how you want your invoice to look. So some of the basic tools down here you can see, like drawing lines and your text and that sort of thing. So like in my for an example here, we can take the line tool and we can just go from the top of the page there and just draw a line across. We can add yet a second line to that and do another line if you wanted to underline something. The nice thing about a drawing program is stuff is vectorized, so you can move it around. You can change that line and put it down closer. You can move it apart, that sort of thing. Then you would go into your texting, and you could insert some text. For example, if we go into that again and add something like fully insured and license. For example, so you could take your text there and you could move it around to wherever you want. So if you want it at the bottom of your invoices, and of course, like everything else, you can bold it. You can change the font on however you want that to look, and the font size and all that sort of stuff. And basically, you're going to keep doing that. You're going to be putting, you might put some, mainly basically putting a bunch of lines for, say, customer information, their name, their address, their phone number, that sort of thing. And I'll show you here in my preview of my finished one that I did with for my own brand. So basically, this is what I'm sort of talking about, what you want to end up with in your drawing program. You're going to be adding some lines. You can do some thicker ones, some thinner ones, and you basically want to arrange your text around so that you have you can have your date and the customer's name and address and phone number, email, that sort of thing. You can have a section here for a description of the job that you're doing, the price on each line, that sort of thing, then the subtotal, tax, and that sort of thing. And then I've got my fully insured at the bottom. I also have a spot here for the company logo. The logo I designed in, I believe, Photoshop, and then just imported it here into this document. And then I left this space here blank. Now, normally, if it was just for me, I would put my business actual contact information, so my phone number, my own direct email address, and all that sort of stuff, my tax number and things like that. When I did these, I was doing a larger batch to give some of the books to my brother-in-law, who also runs a trailer and would have his own personal contact information. So what we did instead is we left this little section blank, and we both got stamps made, custom stamps, like rubber stamps, with a little ink pad sort of built in that has our personal contact information. So every time I do a quote, once I'm done, I just put my big stamp here and I stamp it, and it stamps all my personal information in this little spot here. If I was doing this just for me, say one batch or something just for me, then I would put my company information or something along there, or design it slightly different to have it, the information somewhere. But generally that's sort of what you're looking for. And this is basically, as you can see here, it's my Cloverdale Mowing invoice.pdf. So this is the file I actually submitted to printitforless.com, and this is what they used to print out my custom forms. So if we go back to the drawing program, once you have your document all done, you're basically just going to go, once we're done here, so you're going to go into the file of OpenOffice here, and then you're going to export it as a PDF, and that'll generate the file like that can be opened in any PDF viewer, and that's what you would submit. So if we go back over to printitforless.com, let me just minimize these windows. So you'd go to printitforless.com, you'd go and select the form that you want. So the 8.5 by 5.5, and you can see that the minimum price here is $47. That includes, I believe, 250 invoices, 2-part copies of each. So if you're good there, you go here to this, click here to customize this item. You click it, and here's where you get to choose your ink. If you choose black or blue, there's no upcharge for that. Any other color, then they would charge you more. Obviously, blue and black being the most popular, so they don't have to change the colors in their printing presses. So I just went with black. So for this $47, it's 250 invoices. That's by themselves. Now, if you want more invoices, 500, obviously you can see it's only $10 more and you get 500, so double the amount of invoices. And I believe that's what I did, was I got the 500. But needless to say, you can do a smaller batch if you want. Now, if you want printing on the back, which I didn't do, consecutively numbered, and you want them in books of 50. So this is what I did. If you don't choose here, then you're just going to get basically loose invoices that you'd have to take and individually use. Now, like in the intro to this video, the booklet that I showed you, that's how I had them made. So for 250, they do the books in 50 invoice sets per book. So it would be $9 extra to have 5 books made of 50 invoices each for that 250. I believe I did the 500 books, or sorry, 500 invoices to start. So that basically translated into 10 books. So if I click 500 there, then you can see it automatically changes to 10 books for 500 forms, which is $18 more to have them put into books. But we'll go back to the 250 there, and you can see it goes back to 5. So basically here in this little section here, you would upload your custom form. So this is where you would click here, choose file, and you would choose the PDF file that you saved from, that you did in either OpenOffice or Apple's Pages software there, and you designed and you saved or exported to a PDF file. So you would select that there and send it there, and then you would just add it to the cart. Now here you can have them either print it without having them send you a proof and that you've checked your spelling and stuff, or you can keep it here on the default where it says send me a proof. So basically what they're going to do is they're going to look at that PDF file that you sent, and they're going to email you the converted file to whatever file format they use for their printing presses. So you might notice a few little tweaks or changes, very slight variation, but generally it looks pretty spot on. But if you leave that selected, they'll send you that for you to look at first, so you can see exactly what your finished invoices are going to look like before they print them. And then you would just add to cart. Now there is shipping that you have to pay on top of this. So you can see here for $56, you would get 5 invoice books with 50 2-part invoices in each book. And I believe it's $75 if you went with the 10 books or 500 forms. And then there'd be shipping on top of this. The shipping varies depending on your location. For me, to ship from, I'm not sure where Print It for Less is exactly, but to ship it to Washington State, Bellingham area, basically, it was $20 on top of that to ship. But I guess the price, it totally depends on how close you are to them. But that's all there is to it. And you'll get some fantastic custom looking forms that are customized for your business to help with your branding and that continuity of keeping your branding all similar with your trailer and your uniforms and all that sort of stuff. And that way you're not using just generic off the shelf, from Staples, just generic cheap invoices where you're having to fill out all that information. And a lot of them will have a lot of forms or fields in those generic invoices that don't pertain to your particular business because they're sort of catering. With this, it's nice because you can exactly make it how you want that form to look. So you can see here, I've custom made these exactly. I can have my fully insured license. I can have my one of my email addresses right on there, and have all the exact forms that I want. When the customer sees that, it just goes with the branding, the business cards, the trailer, and all that sort of stuff. So really easy, and was a very painless process going through this Print It for Less. Now, just a reminder, I don't have an affiliate link for Print It for Less. Or anything like that, so I'm not making anything off of anybody ordering anything from this, but I really enjoyed the process of using Print It for Less. It was so simple to do, and the forms came out fantastic, and it's just something that I think I felt I needed to share with everybody, that it was a very simple way to get custom forms done for your business. So hopefully that helps. Well, everybody, hopefully that was pretty easy for you guys to follow along. And as you can see, it's pretty basic way to design your own PDF documents, have complete control over how your invoices will look. And it's a great way to set yourself apart from the competition. And hopefully this gave you guys something to think about on how to take your business to the next level and just round out your whole company image and company brand. So till the next time, hopefully that helped you guys, and bye for now.